Good evening, everyone. It is now 6 o'clock and we want to begin our Redevelopment Commission meeting. Again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your sacrifice and thank you for your commitment to our community and certainly your passion for our community. Vice Chair, if we could have a roll call and also our guidelines tonight.
We can do that. Commissioner Cho?
Oh, here.
Commissioner Morgan? Commissioner Strickland? Here. Commissioner Tripp? Commissioner Walker?
Here.
Commissioner Wallace? Commissioner Young?
Here.
Chair Lee?
Here.
Co-Chair Paragoy is here. All ex officio members, Alderman Bengal?
Here.
Alderman Best? Alderman Harris? You have a quorum.
Thank you.
And I will start off our...
Barry did say he was coming.
He did, okay.
Okay. I'll start off our guiding principles. Past, present, future. Equal time.
Where you want to go?
Go this way.
Respect others' opinions.
Listen to build consensus.
Share accurate information, public perception.
Stay focused, be action-oriented.
Believe.
You gotta say it with a little more.
I
can't see it.
If you don't believe, you don't succeed.
Okay. Thank you so much. Vice Chair, could you move now, so.
I got it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Our public comment 4 minutes. Do we have any public? Mister, do you have anything you have to? All right. Seeing that we have none, moving on to agenda item 3, approve the minutes from the 10/27/2021 and 11/10 minutes. They were in your packet. Do we have any additions, corrections, or deletions tonight?
I move that they be approved as written, both dates.
Okay, we have a second for the minutes.
Second.
Any other further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you so much. Item 4 is to approve the 2022 meeting calendar, and that was also in your packet. And I did not see any holidays in there. It's in the middle of the week, so so we don't have any. We need an approval for that unless we have some discussion on it.
I would like to throw a monkey wrench into this. In January, if we can arrange it, I think it would be helpful for the commission to take a Saturday morning or something, Saturday afternoon, and do a tour, again like we did when we first started, to catch up on everything that's going on that we talk about over the last year and put some visual to it. For instance, look at the properties that we've acquired and that are blocked up for what we think will be housing issues. Go see the McCotter House, which is part of the health and wellness efforts, and so that we all have in our brain a vision can see what people are talking about. I think that always adds something to a conversation when you can visualize that, and it gets us together. We have a work session, do a tour, talk about what we've seen and the issues that we see facing us in accomplishing our missions.
You want to do that before the meeting is January 12th. If there is more than 4 of us, 5 of us, it is a quorum, so it would have to be a meeting. So you want to do 2 meetings a day before we meet, because we're doing strategic planning in January 12th. So we want to do that like the week before.
I'm just throwing the idea out, timing-wise. I don't know how it fits in, but I think it strictly ties into our strategic planning. And instead of having the January meeting on the 12th, we could do it as part of the work session after we do a tour or something like that. So we,
I like that idea, and it's totally selfish, but I know I'll be traveling the first 2 weeks of January. I won't be here at all. So if you do that, then that puts it on the other side
Could
of
you
it.
do something like at 4 before it got dark, you know, do something like,
Do the tour before.
yeah, do the tour, whatever before, or would that be too long of
well, I mean, I think to do it justice, we need to allot a couple hours for
Oh,
touring in my personal opinion.
Yeah, if you
To
go
see
do
the
the
things that
entire,
we need to see.
yeah, if you're gonna do the entire redevelopment area, yes,
Mhm.
yes, which is what we should do, yes. Okay, board thoughts?
I love the idea. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea, and if y'all have to do it before, then that's fine too, because I am on the housing committee, and I get to walk around, and we've been through some of the properties
Right.
before, so
Mhm.
if that suits everybody better, that's fine.
So, the 12th is on a Wednesday, the meeting for that is the day before that is the 5th, so that Saturday will be the 9th or 8th. 8th.
Well, does it specifically need to be ahead of the next meeting?
I think it might be helpful
It would
with
be helpful.
strategic planning, you know,
Yeah.
to just give us a better idea of what we are, what's in front of us.
It's not going to make monkey wrenching, it's just planning. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, you know, it's not a monkey wrench, it's planning.
Finally got the
That's what it
plans
is.
for the
It's
handicap
planning.
ramp.
Don't take away Jordan.
No. Y'all don't do that, but that wrench might go somewhere else. So if we do January 5th, no, not January 5th, January 9th, is it the 8th? 8th. The 8th, the 15th, 22nd,
That's landed in the community.
or the 29th. So you got, several options here. Either we can do the 8th or 15th, or do the 15th and then do the meeting on the fourth Wednesday.
15th Martin Luther King weekend.
Yeah, and I
A
know.
lot of people
Yeah,
travel on
so
that weekend.
no, that's not it. I thought it was
working on
12, yeah, okay.
And I'm tentative to take it out of town on the date.
All right, so then
It was the
you,
8th, that'll work for everybody. That's a Saturday, what time are you thinking?
he said,
Yeah, I'm out of town that weekend. so.
The 8th, okay.
Well, I mean, we can always look at it the weekend after the strategic plan. I mean, that way Beth and, what about you, Steve, that weekend after that?
that's 15, so you
Oh,
go
I
to
mean, next one,
27.
yeah, the 22nd.
That's not finalized, is the strategic plan until we do the tour. That's the case
Well,
with
we
CC.
already, well, it's just looking at our plan,
Right.
really. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, just looking at our plan.
Kind of benchmark where,
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we
What's
are,
going
where we
on.
need to go and different things. So, what about if we move the meeting to the fourth Wednesday for January,
January?
and then do the tour that Saturday before?
22nd.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
That would be January 26th would be the actual meeting?
No, yes.
Yes,
Yes, okay.
okay,
And the tour will be the 22nd? Is that what we're saying, that's the Saturday?
Yes.
6. So we
Correct.
can get this all out.
okay. So January 22nd is the tour,
Hold on, so the 26th is the meeting.
yes.
So we should just establish another meeting, right? Essentially for the 22nd.
Correct.
So 122 will be,
It'll be a
All
workshop,
work session.
basically.
yeah,
Work session.
work session, mobile work session.
Okay,
Has to be time and a place, right?
So where we will gather initially
Okay,
would be the time and place,
all right.
and then.
Okay, so they'll all be here.
Yeah.
Except I need to note when we will meet on the 22nd.
3 o'clock, 1 o'clock,
1 or 2.
2,
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock,
Okay, so that
On a
meeting will
Saturday
be on 2
afternoon,
p.m.
like
Yeah, and 4
something like
o'clock will
that.
be done.
Okay.
okay,
So we can approve this schedule subject to those now.
okay, all right. So everybody have that, you got that, Commissioner Young?
Repeat that, please. I'm confused. 22nd is the work session,
It's the work session.
and the 26th is the meeting.
Uh-huh. So we
Okay,
will meet here at 2 o'clock.
okay.
Everybody, we will meet here at 2 o'clock. And then on the 20th, and then we have a meeting on the 26th at 6 p.m. Okay? Everybody got it? Okay. All right.
Perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Motion and second.
Okay, all right, so we need a motion second, and for the adopt the calendar and, with the additions, corrections.
Well, I make a motion that we adopt the 2022 meeting schedule with the changes that have been discussed with the January schedule, being the regular scheduled meeting on the 26th at 6 p.m. and a mobile tour of the redevelopment area on the 22nd at 2 p.m.
Does that work? Oh, we got
For the
some-
commission to meet at Development Services at 2 p.m. for the work session on the 22nd.
Okay, okay.
Is that your motion, Mr.
That
Fairbourne?
definitely is my motion.
A second that motion.
Any further questions, discussion, additions? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it, okay. All right, and we'll send out something to remind everybody, okay, where are we here? Item 5?
Property request.
Yes, okay. Item 5, request from Kurtis Stewart to recommend the Board of Alderman initiate the upset bid process for 1106 Broad Street. Staff?
Well, the letter that was addressed to you last meeting was enclosed in your packet. That's all the information I have. I haven't been, Stewart didn't contact me or talk to me about his project or anything. Assumed he would be here, but he's not, so I had nothing to add.
Did we contact him to come tonight?
No.
Barry?
I think, Jamie, yeah, right, Jamie, you spoke with him, correct?
I spoke with him, I believe, in November.
In November.
And if the commission would like to hear from Mr. Stewart in person, we can table this item until the January meeting, and that will give him an opportunity to come and answer any questions that you might have.
Maybe didn't, realize he needed to be here, or maybe that it was on the agenda. I guess he should have been notified that it was on the agenda, or that he needed to be here. I think his letter's pretty straightforward. The only thing I will say, just on his behalf and not knowing exactly here, is just what I'm pleased about is that we're seeing someone from the community invest their own personal dollars in the community. And I think it's good. That's what we're trying to encourage, is investment from the people that's in this neighborhood and in this community. And so he has a commercial property. This, I don't know, it'll be residential, commercial based on his letter there that I've read. But that's the only thing I just want to say on his behalf. I see him investing, and we want to encourage and support investment in the community, private investment.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. Okay, can we get, yes, sir.
I went by and looked at the lot, and it's tiny. I mean, it's 25 feet by 100. And in my opinion, generally, the house and the lot ought to be combined, because the house is too big to be no lot of any size. I personally would like to know what his redevelopment plan is, for my own information. I'm positively disposed toward his request, but I would like to just a bit more information about what he's planning.
Right, understand, okay.
I want to make a motion based on that we table this with the instructions to staff to notify Mr. Stewart to be here at our next meeting to present his plans to the commission.
Okay.
We need a time, date, place in that motion.
Before we go on the motion, can I ask a question?
Okay, let's get a second and then.
So at 6 o'clock on the 26th of January.
Wait, what was the motion?
To table it.
To table it, okay.
And that was by?
Commissioner Harrell.
And seconded.
I do second.
Okay, all right, discussion? Discussion.
Dinner time.
True Care, I mean, I know Mr. Stewart well, I never seen True Care, but anybody know what that is? I can do my research later, but I just don't know if anybody knew what that is.
Anybody?
Yeah, I've actually got it open on their website now. And it says, True Care Inc. provides education to offenders of the criminal justice system with the hope to reduce and end recidivism. We seek and provide housing and job training for individuals coming out of the criminal justice system.
Okay.
I think that's just his corporate name.
That's who owns the property.
His corporate, he's put the name.
True Care owns the property?
Yes.
Curtis.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussions, questions?
Yes, I was just looking at the geographic information. So the land value is $10,800, is that correct? Okay, all right. That's all I
And the city would require, because it's still owned by city and county, not redevelopment, we would require a minimum 50% of tax value to go into an upset bid. So
Okay.
you all can require differently if it's your property, but we would require 50% based on an ordinance, based on a motion we had made a while ago.
Okay.
Semi-related, this is all on that topic. Do we have any idea what the county portion of any proceeds coming out of that would be?
Anything written?
Nah, that gets all worked out. once
Yeah,
we go
okay.
through the
The
process.
clerk has that, I have no idea what was owed or.
And no headway or luck on getting the county to forgo those thus
No,
far
I
in
mean,
general?
they were amenable, so we had no backlash. I guess it's just a matter of, I don't know, sitting down and working on it, but I personally talked to Jack Bite and had no issue, with it. I guess it's a matter of the process.
Okay.
Is that correct?
It is. There's been conversations with the county. The city attorney's office would opine that the best way to go about moving forward is to make a presentation to the county so that they know what we intend to do with the lots, to give them some type of grand vision. And I think a couple of meetings ago, Mr. Paraboy came up with this chart or list or what have you of lots that could be aggregated for certain purposes, and that may go a long way to furthering that discussion.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a motion second, and we've had the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Agenda item 6, committee updates, neighborhood health and wellness and housing.
I'll start neighborhood-wise. We're up to about 64 vehicles removed from the community. Another, this morning it was about 31 properties abated, new properties abated, tall grass, junk, things like that. So things are moving very well in that area. A good partnership working with the fire department in the community now, trying to find some problem spots and assisting them in any way we can.
What department is that? I couldn't
The
hear.
police department.
The police department.
Okay.
Housing, the abatement has started on the Jones Street property and the 2 structures that we know we own on West A Street. So that's moving forward on that case. This weekend, Leon will be here to finish off his co-design session with the community on the housing aspect of it. Again, you all should receive the flyer and the notice. We'll be at the Craven Terrace Community Room starting at 2 on Saturday. Looking for a big attendance. Received a lot of responses on that one, so that'll be a good time. 6, so the Gaston moving, we're having a Dickens of a time getting the contractor to stay on site. And Deasia, did you contact them again today?
I did not contact them today,
Okay.
but I was going to give them a little room, but if
They've had so much room.
they've
so
had a lot of,
we may need to move on to
yeah.
mover number 2.
But they did say something's supposed to happen by the end of this
Yeah,
week.
they told me that like 5-6 times. us.
Yeah.
And they show up and throw a hammer on the ground and leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at Friday, and if nothing's done Friday, maybe, look at it.
We gotta do something else.
Okay.
Along those lines, in order to make it cleaner for us to receive HUD funds, the Redevelopment Commission should be what's called a subrecipient. It's a subrecipient agreement. We do it with every organization outside the city that receives funds, RCS, Salvation Army, the Beginning, Habitat, all the entities that receive any type of funding from the CBG program have to go through a subrecipient process. Now, cities aren't required to do that, and there was the project was already approved from HUD, so they were okay with it. But just to make everything, I guess, just bulletproof, the Redevelopment Commission should be a subrecipient underneath the program, like everybody else outside of the city. So I'll need a motion to authorize the chair to sign the subrecipient agreement so we can receive the HUD funds that they've already allocated to us. Is that correct? Is that a good motion?
A motion authorizing the chair to sign the subrecipient agreement on behalf of the commission.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll offer a second, but I do have a question. Are there any kind of specifications that have to be met for that? Because you mentioned that we're outside of the city, but then we're not technically our own organization, so I just want to make sure we don't need any threading needles on that.
Everything's already filled out and ready to go.
All right. So second.
Okay, correct. Any other questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it, thank you, thank you. Okay, so we did neighborhood housing. Kip, you have anything to add to housing?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you, thank you. Moving along, we get to see a lot of those things that's been done as a group. I know everybody's going through and, looking and all of that. Some of us over there early in the morning and doing what we do, but it'll be good to look at it as a group. So, okay, all right, health and wellness.
Yes, okay, so let me just, I didn't talk about this last time, I think we met right before, but on November 12th, we actually had a health focus group meeting. Ms. Bosky, who is the Director of Neighborhood Revitalization, myself, thought it would be a good idea to start, and we had met before this, talking to some of the representatives of the local healthcare agencies, the health department, the hospital, Mercy Clinic, and we met again on the 12th. There were different players at that point, but still from the same organizations. And we developed a list of questions to kind of start asking, about the vision for the Mercado House and how they see themselves participating. So this will be a longer term initiative. I mean, we just had basic discussions. But one of the questions that we did ask were of them is, what are some of the barriers to health and wellness affecting families in the area? And this is Craven County. It's not just our focus area, but what came up was housing, transportation, and food insecurity. One of the nurses who does community care said that's an issue, is people don't have food. And the paramedicine program, the gentleman that is participating, or is the paramedic that works with the hospital, she relayed that that's something that, because they talk, he finds a lot too, is food insecurity. Where are the gaps in services, food, or lack of housing, education. So these are things that they're seeing out in the community, not necessarily just in redevelopment, but of course they have patients in the focus area. So we had asked the question, so what are some types of programs that could fill those gaps and remove the barriers? And one of the things that came up was, gardening and fresh produce baskets. And I know we're working on a project, or we will be working on a project with NCC Ag Extension, going back into the community by Graydon Terrace and working on a garden project and possibly, see what will be growing. So that's something that, again, we're taking into consideration as far as some social determinants of health and how we can move forward in an informal way with addressing some of those needs. Community Relations Day, was great. I mean, it was a really good event. It was a beautiful space, a beautiful day. We had 125 people that participated or came out. Again, the sponsors were First Federal Credit Union, the Craven County Health and Hospice and Health Department, and Coastal Carolina Healthcare. The 125 participants were from the redevelopment area, and also Duffy Field, Wall Bellamy, Craven Terrace, Pembroke, Pleasant Hill. So it went out of the area. People came from, but had ties to the redevelopment area, so that was nice. We had a strong pool of volunteers from ECU, our block captain program, community residents and leaders, and the majority of the volunteers were people of color, which was a really positive thing. People that are coming from within the community that want to support the efforts of the initiatives. And we utilized the support of block captains during the event to do the assessments, as well as volunteering in other capacities there at registration, just helping out in general. NCCU was there, Parks and Rec, of course. It's all written, but it was a nice turnout of, I think, partnerships as far as being intentional, the variety of resources that we provided. And again, looking back at what our CMI and Goal 5 is to encourage community health and wellness, and that's what this event did, with working with those partners, and also provide health education opportunities and resources. I know Mrs. Bengel was there. One of the Bidens has a community health worker program, and we have connected with them, and they will be part of our health focus group, because we just want to learn more about what they do, and how they work within Craven County. I wasn't really.
Commissioner Cho, who did you say?
It is Biden. It's Biden.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Biden, and I'm trying to figure out.
Biden. Antoinette, what is their formal name?
I didn't know it was Biden. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay. And so also, it's along with the paramedicine program. So these people that are on boots on the ground, during this type of work, and we just want to try to find out more about that. Also, one of the agencies that was there was the Tri-4 Resilience Org, or Tri-TRY, which is out of Durham. And I had known about Dr. Boone. She's the founder and the executive director. I had met her, not in person, but virtually when we did that ethnodrama last December. So that was done in Durham and connected the Durham community, but it looks like a really interesting center. And she uses a public health model. So when I went on her website, it was literally, that cyclic, representation, and had faith and housing and education and, health, all the things that we're talking about and that we created for our little logo. So it was very similar. They have a big concentration on substance abuse and mental health, and especially in youth. So I wanted to, hopefully make a road trip up there. John and I had talked about that, and try to, just talk a little bit more. And Antoinette Bosky will come as well, because she does neighborhood revitalization, and that kind of, works with what we're doing. So we're both interested in that. We had 21 health assessments, and incentivizing really works. Everybody likes to get a $5 gift card. So we have to talk about that, how we continue to support that. There were 41 quality of life assessments done by Habitat, which is, again, the neighborhood revitalization program specifically, on the 20th. And then there was a pop-up cookout on December 3rd within the redevelopment area. And so Antoinette has accumulated 41 quality of life assessments total. I know there's a picture, I included a picture of her, and I don't think we have it on the screen, but I took this was from this Friday, but this is a picture of the door, or the doors, one of the doors that we use at the event for one of the activations. And this one says community is. We had health is, community is, I'm trying to think of what the other ones, what were the other two?
Wellness is.
Wellness is, of course.
One said welcome and wellness we the people.
Say it again.
Welcome and we the people.
Yes, welcome and we the people, yes. So this was part of the initiative that we did at Community Relations Day, and she had actually took the door out again on Friday for this pop-up, and again engaged people, got some of her assessments done. But what's great about this is it's a visual, and we can look at that and always refer back to that. I know that when I spoke to Crystal and I emailed her, and we emailed back and forth, I did have a conversation with her. She was the person that was the curator for this event. You know, Miss Boone, who was there with Tri, during Community Relations Day, also felt that it was a great experience, and that these stores, like using these stores to kind of be a jump-off point for additional pop-ups, workshops, you know, activities where we can continue to engage the community as we move forward, you know, with the brick and mortar of the McCotter House. So, and it was, I think it was well received by people. It was unique and innovative. And I didn't mention the sit back and learn. That was another great, a great part of Community Relations Day, where we had this semicircle of participants, residents, and they were asked questions. I don't have the responses to those yet. She's working on them. She had notes. But that's something we have to work on going forward too. But it was a very non-threatening, kind of, you know, relaxed environment where people were kind of encouraged to, you know, talk about health and wellness and, you know, some of the questions that were asked as far as needs. What do you know, the needs assessments in a very kind of informal way. What else? So, any questions so far? I'm almost done. I know it's a lot. And I'll give this, Jeff can pass this out to you, or email it to you, but next steps moving forward, we are going to be meeting with, we're setting up a meeting with the Craven County Health Department to discuss the funding for the FUHC, and what that looks like at this point in time for the proposed health and wellness site. Kip had made a good suggestion when I spoke with him on Monday, is perhaps having a visioning on site there, where we can really start actualizing and meeting people where they are and talking about it, right? We'll have to develop what that looks like.
McCotter House, that is.
Yeah, the McCotter House, I'm sorry. Maybe in the spring, that would be something we'll look at when the weather is nice, and, you know, really for that specific project. Again, we'll follow up with the health focus group in the coming months. You know, I had a conversation with CCHC. They were interested in our business model and financing, and so they want to be part of it. I mean, they agreed to be part of the conversation. So that's another avenue of just finding out, you know, how this will work as far as seeing patients and insurances and things like that. Again, I'm going to go back to the Craven Terrace Community Garden. That's a project with the extension and Tish Bell outside of, correct me if I'm wrong, outside of, oh God, I'm blanking right now. Where's the lot?
For the community garden, it's right off of Chapman where the parking lots are.
Okay.
So if you go see the B&N store, look to the left coming from Omega Center, and you'll see the garden lots, the plots there.
So that's a project that's coming up. And the North Carolina Extension has been really great about being very diligent and working on that and keeping us in the loop as well, including us. But we're still working on that Faithful Families program. We had to do the nutrition program again by the NC Extension, and that's with Pastor Royal. She would be the person from Running Life that would lead that. It's a faith-based nutrition program, and I think it would be great. You know, they set policies at the end of it, policies meaning a way for their church community to be healthier. And this would include not just her, but, you know, not just her, her church, but other people from the area as well. It'll be open. Begin planning with community partners for our February Creating Space event, and of course February is Black History Month, and we want to focus on mental health. We had reached out, I remember, to your, Jamie, to your contacts from when we talked about this last November in the mental health field. I forget their names. I have their names, but they weren't available for this, so we're going to try to have them come down. And we have some other ideas about that. And again, looking at an event that would kind of engage the community. We could do our health assessments, bring our doors out, and focus on mental health as the resources. I think that it will be part of one of the partners that we had come to Community Relations Day was Parts, and they have an omnibus program now, so we might want to revisit that and have them come talk to us.
I did a little bit of show with them and talked a little bit about it, and it's really interesting because their routes now are more concentrated for health, route, education, retail, so I think it's important we know more about that and how to access it. It's $1, and so, but seniors can get 50 cents, but how do they access that? We need to be able to get that word into the community, how they get that information and where the pickups are. That's a little confusing.
Right.
I think it's important that we revisit that.
It's been a while, so I know this is, we didn't, I was happy to
I
hear
was
about
pleased with that, the complaint.
And then, of course, we're gonna continue with our little pop-up cookouts, that's okay, but I'd like to get the neighborhood group, working group involved with that. You know, I think that'd be a nice partnership. We have already spoken to Jay, you know, when he was kind enough to donate, be a sponsor for the last event, for Community Relations Day. You know, we did have some initial conversation about how we could all work together on projects like that. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And that's really all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Cho?
Just have one little comment. We envision the potential programmatic core for Mikada House is what the public health department can offer. And we're in discussions with Dr. Fisher and others. And I think that's really a concrete way to move forward on the Mikada House is to see what the health department can offer for this community. They seem really interested in doing that and moving forward with that, but it's going to take some discussion about what the Mikada House will look like and where the funding is coming from. So I think that could very well be an important focus for the Health and Wellness Subcommittee coming up.
Yeah, they've always been amenable to it. They want good health in the community as well, so. Okay, all right, thank you so much. Thank y'all for all the work, and we appreciate it. Okay, all right. Closed session. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 143-318. Dot 11A5, to discuss potential real estate acquisition. We need a motion and a second to go into closed session. Thank you all so much for coming.
So moved. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
I think your motion, Mr. Paragoy, it is.
Proceed.
I think your motion is to proceed with the exchange
And the notice.
of the lots with Mr. Newkirk, and directing staff to publish a notice with the value of the properties and other consideration being $87.50.
So moved.
Second
Did I
that.
do a good job?
You really have a command of the language.
Yeah, I do, man. I can whip out a motion in a minute.
Any questions or discussion?
That last part with the value of the property.
The value and other considerations is $87.50.
All right, got it.
Is that what you said, Mr. Perry?
That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
Verbatim.
All right. All in favor, aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Okay. Okay, our agenda is done, but I want to say that we will be doing an annual report to the board, and so I need the commission's help. Now, if you are serving on one of the working groups, I need for you to look at your year and your accomplishments and get them to me so that we can put in there. And if you have some pictures, that would be good too. Now, it's not going to be full of pictures, but we do need some. So, but that means the housing working group, neighborhood, probably Jeff and and all of that, and then help so that we can send that to the board. It will be like 11 by 17. You remember how the CNI executive report was? Like that. We have that in the budget to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you could get that to me, and I'll send out to you the deadline so that we can get it to the board. And other people that we may want to send it to in the community as well. Okay? Okay? All right.
Is it like a bound, like it's you're saying like when you talk, what is it, it's a bound report?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's like basically 11 by 17 folded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so it that should encompass, our whole year. Condense it down a little bit, make it look really good and get it to the board of all, and then like I say, some other people in the community as well.
So how much information or what do you need from each of the groups? Just kind of like some star?
Yeah, some highlights of some accomplishments, some things that you're looking forward to in the future. Make sure that you state what your goal is in the plan at the beginning, and then from there, your major accomplishments, some of the things that you've done, some of the partners that you have, because probably list the partners out by themselves that everybody has worked with and things like that, and then you put it together from there. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else for a good group? Remember, January.
I have a couple questions that I'd like to head up with.
Okay.
And one of them is, Jeff, have we gotten any feedback from the stormwater presentation that was done here last month about the stormwater project that is?
Not after, we got plenty during the meeting, right?
Well, but has that ever been summarized, so we have a feel for what the community thought about what's being planned there?
I'll talk to the consultant. I'll see. We definitely took information, right?
Mm-hmm.
Visual preferences for different amenities and the type of stormwater facility. So I'll get with them and ask if they put that together.
Because that's part of our plan, the redevelopment plan, is that stormwater management part of it, and I think it's important because we need to say we did this, and what some of the thoughts and comments were, I think would be
and it can
helpful
go
for us.
in the report too, the annual report.
yeah,
a paragraph. He can provide you a paragraph, or she can, I think.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. No, we've done enough work on that.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
For
Mr.
sure.
Paragoy, you have another question?
Nothing I can remember.
Well, that's a good note to end on. Again, thank you all so much for all your work, your diligence, and all that you have done, your passion that you bring all of us together with our gifts and our talents and all the other things that bring us together, including the staff of development services. Thank you all so much for all that y'all have done. And I'm from Jones County, so I try not to use that word y'all, but it still comes.
Such a good word.
It does.
Good word.
Sounds good.
It sounds good too. But anyway, again, thank you all so much. Have a Merry Christmas and a great New Year. And I look forward to seeing all of you around town somewhere. There's a lot of events going on. Saturday, the 11th, from 2 to 6, I am traveling on emergency family business, so I will not be there. I know a couple of other people will not be there, but I know some of the commissioners are planning on going.
I'm out of town, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 of us are out of town, but it's at Craven Terrace, so if some of us can go there, going to.
The date that he was coming on, this just came out of the air, because I'm not available that day either.
Yeah.
Was that the only day he was available?
Oh yeah, I've been trying for months.
So, well, I put it out on all my networks as, churches and, I put it all the way to Raleigh because we have people that travel back and forth with COVID that live there and all of that. And I've gotten some great response. So, hopefully it would be very good if some of the commissioners are there though. But we do understand this time of the year, so we have to do what it is we have to do. So again, thank you all so much and take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, please.